And thank you for coming today to our office at the JCC. In the beginning of the summer, or maybe a few months before summer started, we had an opportunity to bring on an intern that was interested in the business side of our organization. And I have been friends with his mother for maybe a little over 5 or 6 years. And her and I talked and said, how can we fit him into our summer program? She explained to me his business interest, and I said, that works. We need someone who understands business and can give us a fresh outlook. So we brought Jimmy on to help us this summer, and he's been a tremendous asset. And so what he's been able to do is kind of take Rodney Street and look at it from a different perspective, and now he's able to do this presentation that we are able to then use to help us grow. And with that being said, I want to turn it over to Jimmy.
Thank you, Colonel.
Thank you.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Jimmy Sanfaro. I just want to quick thank Rodney Street for giving me the opportunity this summer, coming on board, helping out with all the daily operations, and helping Sandra out with all the finance things throughout the day. But now, let's head into my presentation. So first, I want to start off with, as you all know, Rodney Street's vision. We want to foster a lifelong love of tennis and learning with all these children. We're trying to create a safe and fun atmosphere for these kids to play, but also learn a lifelong skill of tennis that they can use throughout their life. Rodney Street, over the past couple years, has been growing tremendously. From 2017, they had about $250,000 coming in income. In 2018, they had $475,000. That's an 85% growth right there. They're going up, and they just keep going up. Also, when it comes to just the kids we have coming in our program yearly, in 2017 we had 500 kids. All the way now up into 2019 we had 2,500 kids. It's nearly 5 times as many kids we had in our camp year-round, from the fall, spring, summer, all the programs. Rodney Street's one of their biggest assets that we have is our social impact on these kids. We're helping the kids stay off the streets. They have something to do after school. They have another opportunity to learn and not get in trouble. We will teach the kids on a daily basis how to be better citizens in their community. We teach them how to act right, and we give them opportunity not to get in trouble, as kids tend to do when they're left alone. So I did some research on a study done by a couple universities. University of Minnesota, Stanford are some of the bigger ones that did it. And it's about quantifying your social impact that you have on the kids and on the community around you. And right here are some numbers that Rodney Street is saving their community annually per kid. It's $370 they're saving from juvenile crime reduction, another $150 from truancy reduction, various things like that. Some money saved from drug use that the kids are not doing because they're with us at our camp and learning how to be better citizens. And then also they measure an enhanced school enrichment. As we're teaching these kids, we're giving them reading and math lessons. They're learning just as if they were at school but at our program. And they can quantify things like that to put a number to what we're doing to help these kids out in their future. These numbers all go into a new thing. It's only been going around for a couple years now that these universities started. It's called Social Return on Investment, and SROI is the abbreviation for it. It calculates ROI with the added benefits of your organization's social impact. It's very common for nonprofits to use this now, as it's a good way of showing how much money that's donated to the nonprofit is going to save these kids or save the community their additional resources. So with Rodney Street, from all the numbers you saw on the previous page, every dollar invested to Rodney Street is roughly saving the community $14 to $15 per kid in community resources. And that's a pretty big amount. Donate $10, that's $140 that the Rodney Street is saving the community based on things as in, drug use, crime that the kids can get into, just general worsening the community. Rodney Street's helping them not do that. So I just wanted to take a moment to kind of help explain what is so good about the social impact of an organization. And Rodney Street's probably their biggest asset, or their biggest thing that they sell on, is our social impact that we're providing. We're making a better Wilmington, Delaware every day with our camp. We're teaching these kids how to be better citizens, and that goes a long way for their entire life. They're going to be acting better their whole life. They'll get better careers. They'll earn more money. It'll help everyone around us, and it'll help Wilmington, Delaware, and hopefully even more cities. As these kids move out, they can teach it to their kids. They can teach it to everyone around them. Niceness grows on people. If you're nice to someone, they'll be nice to you. And Rodney Street's teaching that with these kids. And that's why our social impact is such an important part of our organization, and why these numbers I show you actually mean a lot to what we're doing. So now if we move on, Rodney Street wants to keep growing. And for us to keep growing and keep helping these kids, we're going to need to get a home. We're going to need a new place for us. So Rodney Street, we want to open up a new facility. It's 50,000 square feet. There'll be 6 indoor tennis courts, 4 to 6 outdoor. We'll have the classrooms, the offices, everything will be in one centralized location for the whole business to operate. All the camps and the business all in one place, no running around anymore. It'll make everything easier, save us money, and can hopefully help us earn more money as time goes on. So the plan for this, we want to start with a minimum of $200,000 in early stage donations. With that, we'll start a new marketing strategy. We'll then raise the money from the $200,000 using the marketing strategy. We'll raise a minimum of $6 million for the facility, and then hopefully we can build Rodney Street a home that we want. These early stage donations, as I said, we're looking for a minimum of $200,000, and this will go into assembling a lean fundraising operation. All those $200,000 will go into raising the $6 million or more to help build the facility. The more we can raise, the better it is, and every dollar of this $200,000 will be put into that operation. The marketing strategies that we've come up with for it, we're going to keep doing what we've done already in the past, and we're going to try to get some more local partnerships and sponsorships with local teams like the Blue Rocks, the Delaware Children's Museum. The kids went on a field trip this year to Delaware Children's Museum, and they loved it over the summer. It was one of their favorite field trips they went on. We're going to have annual fundraising events, whether that is a golf event, an auction, a walkathon, anything like that, anything we can go in, get together with the community around us, raise money, network with more people, keep bringing money in, and hopefully raise the money we need. And then Rodney Street is looking to get a mascot. His name would be Rodney. He would be the little tennis ball, the logo right there, the tennis ball with the cap. And we want something that people can recognize us by, a face of Rodney Street, something similar you would say to the Philly Fanatic, something that people can, when they leave these events, they'll remember Rodney. They'll have pictures with Rodney. The kids will love Rodney. It's something that sticks in the back of their mind. They won't forget who Rodney Street is. So the cost of this facility that we want, as I said, a minimum of $6 million. $4 million of that would go into the facility, and we need money to sustain it for 2 years. That way we can start earning some revenue and be able to sustain it afterwards. The goal would be $8 million. That'll give us the best facility that we could get, and we still have the same $2 million for sustaining it for the 2 years. Some of the uses for this facility would be all of our programming, all the summer, spring, and fall. We could do local USTA tennis tournaments here. Middle States is what we're associated with, all of them. We could have tournaments here instead of the Rodney Street courts over in Wilmington, or instead of at the DuPont Country Club. We could have them in our organization. We could do local middle and high school tournaments could be used here. We could rent out the courts to the public. Field trips, schools could come in, take a field trip to the Rodney Street facility. Private lessons and classes, these could happen, private coaches could rent out our courts, have classes on the weekends, have classes when our programs are not using them. We could rent out the facility for large events. It'll be a very large, open, indoor area. People could use that for many different purposes. Different tennis leagues, like an adult tennis league, they could use our indoor facility. It's perfect for, you could do it in the rainy weather or anything. League can stay in. We'll have a tennis pro shop in the facility where you can buy rackets, get your rackets restrung, have all merchandise and things like that. And then a Wilmington Tennis Hall of Fame, just to educate people on the various tennis accomplishments and tennis players who have come through Delaware, started in Wilmington, have all that as just a little showcase inside the facility. So here are some projections for the facility, for the first year of the facility. We project a revenue of $1.6 million in the first year. Here's a couple little sections where the money would be coming from. $600,000 would be from memberships to the facility where people could use the courts. Our programming would bring in another $385,000. These are just our projections for it. And I calculate or project a growth of 30% every year based off how Rodney Street is growing now and how I think they can continue to grow once we set up a facility like this. And right here I have a quick little chart, and this is the revenue projections by areas. And if you can see right about here, this is just from programming and the membership, and that is over 60% of what our revenue would be. And a lot on the lower end would be things like donations and grants, and we want to be able to sustain Rodney Street without only having donations and grants as our main revenue. We want to be able to sustain it by bringing in revenue from our facility. So when would we break even with this facility? I have two charts coming up. This first one is a growth of 1.3 every year, 30% growth. And we start off, our profit projection for the first year is $754,000. And if you go a growth of 30% every 1.75 every year, and then the last 2 years is 1.5. And with that model, we would break even at about 4.5 years, just under 6 months in the fourth year. We would hit the $8 million mark. And this is with the $8 million facility, not the $7 or the $6 million. So here are some frequently asked questions. Why does Rodney Street need a facility like this? Personally, I worked at the camp and the offices over this summer, and it is a lot of different camps that we have. One day I'm at the office, I have to head over to Tower Hill, then I have to head over to Rockford Park, which is just right up the street, and then I have to go back to the office, print some papers out. There's a lot going on. Also, when it comes to the parents, they don't really know where we're located. A lot of the parents come to Tower Hill trying to sign up for camp, and at the beginning of the year we didn't have registration forms there because our offices are here at JCC. The parents don't know where they're supposed to be going, the kids don't know where they're supposed to be going, they just know camp's at Tower Hill, and sometimes they come over here to the JCC to see us. Another question that might be asked is a facility like this sustainable? And I personally think it is easily sustainable. We're not just getting money from programming and donations anymore with this facility. We'll have many different streams of income coming in, whether it's the memberships to the facility, different people renting out the court, plenty of things like that are bringing in money to help us sustain this facility. And then last, are we in a good community to have a facility like this? And personally, yes. We have multiple 55 and up communities. One is being built right now, right next to the JCC. And tennis is huge in the senior world. I know a lot of older people that play tennis, and they will continue to play tennis. And then also, our only competition when it comes to a large facility like this would be the DuPont Country Club nearby. And we don't necessarily have the same demographic as the DuPont Country Club. So that can bring in a lot of people who can't necessarily pay for their courts, but they can come into Rodney Street's courts. Are there any other questions? Thank you for your time, everyone.